Michael, so what do you think of Dan Quinn making his return to Atlanta? How is that going to play a part in this game Sunday?
Yeah, and remember, as the Cowboys defensive coordinator, he was there too. He's a head coach now, of course. Led that team to a Super Bowl. Nobody remembers what happened in that Super Bowl, but was in that Super Bowl in Atlanta. A lot of memories there. I don't think it's a contentious thing, right? Everybody knew he was going to be gone when he was gone. It wasn't give me one more year, I could turn this around. It was pretty clear they needed fresh leadership at the time. He needed to recharge at the time. He did. He went and, rediscovered himself, became a great coordinator, gets his second chance, and now I think a lot of people have been very thrilled by what he's brought to the table in D.C. so far. But I don't think there's going to be a lot of... I thought the Marcus Mariota thing was going to be far more interesting if he played. I think we both agree Jaden's going to play. But I thought that would have been more interesting because Marcus Mariota walked out on that team. I think that would have been personal.
Yeah, it does feel like Jaden is going to go on Sunday. After speaking with the media yesterday, he said, I feel good, and that the knee is not going to affect him. If the NFL's Rookie of the Year feels good and he's not going to be affected, he's going to play on Sunday. That's my take, Michael.
Yeah, I think he plays. I think we're waiting to see how effective he'll be. You remember those games with the rib injury last year. He clearly wasn't 100% in those games, but he was still giving his team a chance to win. He was still lifting them by being out there. I think it's going to be one of those scenarios. You're going to need some Deebo Samuel. You're going to need some Bill. I think he'll play. He got a vet stay on Wednesday, but I think he'll play. You're going to need somebody to step up in the absence of Terry McLaurin, in the absence of Jaden being able to run, make some big plays, move the chains. A couple more kick returns, a punt return, it wouldn't hurt either.
Yeah, I mean, hearing Jaden Daniels yesterday, he sounded pissed off. An upset Jaden Daniels, it seems like a recipe for success against the Atlanta Falcons. But also, he gave a different perspective, getting to watch the game from the booth, seeing basically the all-22. Somebody asked him about, could you see the different reads and who would be open? This might have been a blessing in disguise and maybe the best thing for this young quarterback who had all the hype after one of the most insane, incredible rookie seasons. He was not himself in games 1 and 2. Maybe he played two great defenses, but now he had a chance to watch Marcus Mariota have success. I think it's going to really help him out.
I agree with that. I think that he didn't have his timing. His running was good in week 1. The throwing was a little off. And then in week 2, everything seemed a little bit off. And the Packers bottled him up in the run game. I think you can flush that one. That was a really strong opponent. I think the Packers are, outside of what happened in Cleveland last week, I think that was the best defense they've faced by a mile this season. I think it's about getting back to the timing on those throws, finding the open receivers, connecting with them in stride. I think that's the most important thing I want to see from Jaden Daniels. Not the running, not the playmaking. That'll be there when it's there. Getting the receivers, getting them in the right spot at the right time. And it's tough because they haven't had a lot of practice with these guys.
Yeah, I mean, that was what was so impressive about Marcus Mariota's performance, because he had actually less practice time than Jaden Daniels, given the fact he was out for the entire preseason with his injury, and yet he hit his receivers on time, on target, in rhythm. Even a few times where he had to move off of his spot, you could see he was like, he knew, hey, I'm going to get it to Ertz because I know he's going to be open, even if I'm throwing from a bit of a weird arm angle. So that's what I'm looking for, Jaden Daniels. You don't have to hit the home run ball. You don't have to go deep every time, but hit the open receiver, go through your reads, and find the guy that's open in the progression.
And they didn't have Marcus Mariota go deep. That wasn't a part of the game plan. It was very much all around the line of scrimmage, timing-based stuff. I think Zach Ertz is a key player in that. I hate to lean heavily on Zach Ertz this early in the season. You need him later in the season as well. And he's like Von Miller. He's like Bobby Wagner. You want to really manage the number of reps they play, but you want to win this game. And I think he's a key to winning this game. He has short routes, timing. Until Ben Sinnott proves he can handle that, I think you're continuing to ride with Zach Ertz.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point that they really didn't go deep. The big pass to Terry McLaurin was like 20 yards in the air. It was more of a catch and run up the seam, hit him and rip it, like Tom Brady always says when it's open. And so Mariota was so impressive. He set the standard. He set a bar that Jaden Daniels will have to reach, and he has reached it his entire rookie year. So I'm not worried about him not stepping up and being to that level. The other part is, though, this defense has another very difficult task, and it starts with Bijan Robinson at running back.
Yeah, they've got skilled players, and Drake London, who's a great player as well. Michael Penix is desperate, man. He got benched last week. He's proven himself, and I don't think they go back to Kirk Cousins at any point in this game, but it's important for Penix to prove to himself, to his team, he can do this. I'll say this on Jaden. I think the only thing that worries me about Jaden is if he's very clearly not himself, will Dan Quinn have the guts to pull him from the game if he needs to? That's a tough decision for a coach to make.
Yeah, I kind of think you have to let him play through it at that point, because the conversation would go back to, well, he should not have played.
Yeah.
He had his week off. Hopefully he is at 100%, right? I started this week by saying I want Marcus Mariota to start Sunday. But then after hearing from Jaden Daniels, I got excited for Jaden to return. I mean, last year was the greatest football season of my lifetime, so I want more Jaden Daniels. But you have to admit, Marcus Mariota stepped up to the plate, and I think this team could certainly win with him again.
He's a solid quarterback. Jaden's an exceptional quarterback. Jaden can deliver this weekend and lift this team in a way Marcus can't.
That's Michael Phillips. I'm Adam Epstein. You're listening to AWOD Radio, a little Commanders crosstalk on Richmond's home for the Commanders, the new Sports Radio 910 The Fan, now at 105.1 FM.